my channel. Hope you have all had a wonderful day. Today's video is my TBR video for March. Now March is a slightly longer month, so we might have some more progress than February. You'll hear all about that in my February wrap up. But basically there are a few books that got unread throughout February, so they are just going to stay on my TBR shelf over there, and then I can choose through them with my current TBR, if that makes any sense. So if I finish my current TBR or I fancy reading one of the books from February, they will already be on that shelf and they will just come to you in wrap-ups. But yeah, I have my Bronte box to give us our prompts. I'm reading the next book in the All Souls trilogy, Soul Screamers. I believe I always thought it was a trilogy, and we found out there's actually like 9 books, so it's a fair amount more than a trilogy. But yeah, it's the Soul Screamers series by Rachel Vincent. This is the second book. The first one was incredible, but you'll hear all about that in February's wrap-up. Right, let's get into it. So I've got my Bronte box. We're going to pick 8 prompts like we normally do in order to try and help me reach my goal at the end of the year. Obviously, February's is a bit, but here we are. Right, so the first one I have is a book with a child on the cover. I feel like I might have one. I'm going to go check. Okay, so I managed to find one, and I actually didn't even think about this one. This bit of hair is driving me loopy, but I plaited mine and it's gone crazy. So I actually found Call the Midwife by Jennifer Worth, and there was a child there and one there. But I absolutely love the Call the Midwife programme. I think I've actually got all the series on DVD. But yeah, basically this follows Jennifer, and she talks about her time in the 1950s, being a midwife. And I've got this book and the compendium book that goes with like the series and the story, but I've really been excited to get to this one. It has been on my shelf for a little while, but I've been trying to read other things, so now I'm really glad that I have the opportunity to read this one. So yeah, there is a book with a child on the cover. Right, let's get in and pick another one. We've got pink. We've got pink. And it is a book with red on the cover. Bear with me. Okay, so I found one. It's not one I'm super excited to read, but it is one I would like to read and get off my shelf if it's not something I enjoy. And it is The Trouble with Henry and Zoe by Andy Jones. Now, I know absolutely nothing about this one, apart from what it says on the back. So it just says, Henry and Zoe have more in common than they realise. For a start, they both have pasts they'd rather leave behind. After jilting his childhood sweetheart on the eve of their wedding, Henry makes a break for London. Zoe has great friends, 2 jobs, a new house and a big scary plan. After a traumatic, life-changing event, she plans to leave London and spend the year travelling alone. If Henry and Zoe had met 1 year ago, things might have worked out differently, but that's not the way life works. They meet 7 months after their worlds have been turned upside down, and 4 months before Zoe is due to climb on a plane. So it sounds good, don't get me wrong. I feel like this might actually be a brand new book. It looks fabulous. But it's just one that's been sat there for such a long time that I haven't actually thought about reaching for. So yeah, I've added it on. We're going to give it a go and see how we get on with it. But yes, there is book number 2. Let's get back into the Bronte box. I'm going to go for this yellow one here. Let's have a little look-see. Read a book with glitter on. Okay, let's go find one. Okay, so I can't actually find one at the moment. The only one I do have, let's move my plant, is in the Julie Kagawa Fae series, but it's not the first book in the series and I haven't got to it yet. So I'm going to pop this one back in for another day, and we'll re-choose. She says, right, we've got another yellow one, and it is Read Your Least Hyped Book. And I can't remember if I put this down as hyped from me or just hyped. So I figure I'm gonna go hyped from me, like the least kind of book I've been looking forward to reading. So I'm gonna go find that. Okay, I managed to find one, and I have gone for a Cecilia Ahern book. Now this one is The Marble Collector, and it follows Sabrina, who stumbles upon a mystery collection of her father's belongings, and she goes on a bit of a journey to find out more about a life that he can't remember. I believe he has no memory. I'm not sure whether that's accident or whether that's like dementia or Alzheimer's or something along those lines. But this is least hyped because I have a whole collection of, you can't see, these books here are all Cecilia Ahern ones. I decluttered those in my January reading wrap-up video, just because I wasn't excited about them. I find Cecilia Ahern's books very slice of life kind of esque, and I just wasn't interested in reading any of them. I held on to this one. Why is the lighting so bad? I held on to this one in the hope that this is better. This is better. I held on to it in the hope that I would enjoy it, as I had a friend that enjoyed it. So there is book number 3. Let's get back into the box. What's in the box? I'm really tired, can you tell? Right, we have another yellow one, and it is a book with a beautiful cover. That's what we've got, so I'm going to go find one. Okay, so this one is a bit of a cheap book. It's super tiny. It's a companion novel to Carrie Hope Fletcher's On the Other Side. This is Winter's Snow. So yes, this is an On the Other Side novella. It's a 40-page little snippet. But I just love the tree and the door in it that's kind of a gateway to other places. I absolutely loved the On the Other Side story. I cried. In fact, I think I sobbed. So I have picked this one to read as part of my TBR. I know it's tiny and it is a bit of a cheap one, but I suffered in February so bad with my TBR that I'm trying to pick books I think should be fairly easy. I know I've picked one that I am not overly interested in and one I'm not entirely sure I'm going to enjoy. So I need a little helping hand here. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to get to this one. I had so much searching for this. I think I went to Waterstones and they were like, oh, we might have it in like a box somewhere. And I was like, well, can you check? And the guy was really, really nice. He went upstairs, had a little look for me, and he was like, I found it. He was like, but the corners are a bit sort of like crumpled, and I was like, that's fine, I don't care, I need it. So yes, this has been on my bookshelf for about 2 years now, so I really need to get to reading. So there is book number 4. Okay, we have a green. I have a pink that fell out, so that's going back in. We have a green. What does it say? A book with an item of clothing on the cover. I don't know what I was thinking when I created some of these prompts, but we'll find one. Okay, so this one took a little bit of finding, but I have gone with a R.D. Wingfield, A Touch of Frost novel. It's got a hat on the cover. But yes, I imagine most people know about Detective Inspector Jack Frost. But yes, it's just one of the mysteries that Frost solves, basically. It just says the corpse of a well-known local junkie is found blocking the drain of a Denton public lavatory. And then when Frost attempts to join the revels later on, the nubile daughter of a wealthy businessman is reported missing. I do really enjoy the Frost books, but I do find once you've read them, you kind of don't need to go back and reread them, if that makes sense. I find that with quite a few... I've lost the post-it. I find that with quite a few like detective novels, I feel like I don't need to reread them. But this one cost me 30p, so I'm going to read it. I really want to see the TV series. I believe it's David Jason, isn't it, that does Jack Frost. But yes, so there is that one. How many is that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we've got 3 more picks to go. We're going to go with another yellow one, I think. What have we got? A book that's also a film. I have a fair few of these. Bear with. Okay, I've gone for a classic, and I have gone for Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Now, I recently watched the TV drama version with Colin Firth, and I know some people's opinions of Pride and Prejudice are very strongly, no, I don't like it. But I feel like it's a story that I'm gonna like. I like a broody male, I like a sassy female, and I get that Darcy is a bit of a boob. But it all comes round right in the end, and that makes me happy. I am working my way through the different classics. The film versions, Jane Eyre is my all-time favourite classic. I think I have a copy of it, but I'm not 100% sure, so I might need to lay my hands on a copy of that at some point. But yes, I'm going for Pride and Prejudice, because it is also a film. So there's that. I'm excited. I feel like I will enjoy it, because I know I enjoyed the TV series and the film that I've seen before. But yes, right, on to the next one. I have a pink one. Boyfriend chooses a book for you. He isn't here at the moment, so what I will do is I will do the same as I have done when Nikki and Hannah pick my books. I will insert a picture of the book he chooses up here. Yes, and we will go from there. So yeah, he will choose a book when he gets home, if he's not too tired. But yeah, so there's that one, and then we have our final pick. I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, our final pick. We're going yellow again. And we are going for a book set somewhere you want to visit. Okay, I'll see what I can find. Okay, we got one. It is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn and David Leviathan. So I binge watched this on Netflix before Christmas. My sister messaged me and was like, oh, have you seen this? Like, you need to give it a go. And I binge watched it, and then I think she watched it a further 3 times. And she bought me this book for Christmas. So it follows 16-year-old Lily and Dash. Lily is looking for a nice boyfriend who can, is her kind of person. So she leaves a book on her favourite bookshelf with a load of challenges, and it is up to Dash to he finds the book and he follows along with the challenges, and then they continue to make each other's lives more interesting by creating dares for them to do. And then they kind of have to try and figure out whether they want to meet each other or whether speaking through the book is what they prefer. So yes, that is my 8th book. Now, this one's only just over 300 pages, which is absolutely fine by me because I have picked a couple of chonkers. But yes, so I have my 7 books that I've chosen. Dre is going to choose my 8th, and then I have my buddy read with Nikki, which makes 9 books again for March. Now, January I managed to do it, give or take a couple. I think I did exactly 8. February is a flop, so you'll hear about that later, but I am excited. So we have a book set somewhere you want to visit. I didn't mention, but it's actually set in New York, and I would love to visit New York. I want to go and stand under the big tree like Kevin does in Home Alone. So there is that one. A book that's also a film, Pride and Prejudice. A book with an item of clothing on the cover, Touch of Frost. A book with a beautiful cover, Winter Snow by Carrie Hope Fletcher. Your least hyped book, Cecilia Ahearn's The Marble Collector, almost dropped down. A book with red on the cover, The Trouble with Henry and Zoe. We'll see how we get on. And then Call the Midwife by Jennifer Worth, a book with a child on the cover. So they are those ones. Dre is going to choose my 8th. And then we have My Soul to Save by Rachel Vincent as my buddy read. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fun things to come. And also let me know, no spoilers, if you have read any of the books and what you thought in the comments section down below. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.